All right, we're just sitting still right now, but I want to just let everyone know for Beards and Spurs 2021, we're on our way to Virginia, and we've scouted a place, a WMA. Actually, we did almost a virtual scout. We did it on the internet, looked at maps and certain things, talked to a biologist, and looked at some topos. So we've got a couple of points already picked out that we can go straight to. The weather's rainy this morning. Hopefully that'll deter other hunters from going in, keep the pressure low. I know over the weekend, according to the biologist, this place gets hunted pretty hard, so that's why we're going in on a Monday. Well, I was going to say see you just in a few minutes, but we'll see you in a couple hours. Did I say something about weather forecasters sometimes being wrong? According to the forecast, and then I went back and double checked with the radar, this is supposed to be moving out by 7:30, and it's still raining. So we're just gonna sit here. Obviously I can't take the camera gear out while it's raining, but I've got my 2 points that I scouted while I was back at home before I come up into Virginia on this WMA. So I'm a little familiar with it, a little familiar with the topography based on the aerial photographs, but we gotta wait till the rain subsides. Typically when it rains like this, turkeys are going to go to the open area. So if you're out and it's raining, or it has rained that morning, go to an open field. I mean, if you have any. Obviously if you're on WMAs or national forest, or game lands, things like that, you got to take what you got, take what you can get. So we're going to sit here. Actually, I'm going to grab me something to eat. We've been driving for a few hours, and once the rain stops, we're going to see what happens. Okay, the rain's finally stopped. Still a little cloudy. You can tell the skies are starting to lighten up out this way. Now, the 2 points that I put in on the map on this WMA, I'm just adjacent to. So I'm probably 300 yards away. But in my experience, when it rains, turkeys like to come into the open. Okay, so you got to be versatile when you hunt. So based on today's weather conditions, and I tell you, it's cold. It's in the low 40s. The wind's not that bad, light wind, but it's been raining. It's rained all night. It just stopped a few minutes ago. So what we're going to do, I mean, obviously we're going in on a cold hunt. I haven't heard any birds, and I'm not going to call until I find a good setup, or a good spot for a setup. And then I'm just going to sit down, I'm going to call, and I'm going to look and watch. There's a possibility we might have a few birds come up from the roosting areas that I pinpointed on the topo map and come into this area. So we're going to give it a shot, and we'll see what happens, and hopefully we'll get a bird on the ground. All right, we're set up. I'm set up on this bird that I was telling you about earlier. I haven't heard any birds, I haven't seen any birds, but I slipped in here just like I was deer hunting. And I'm backed up against these pine trees, not out in the open. There's a nice steep ridge over this way. Looks like we're ready to get roosted. So I'm just gonna sit here for about 30 minutes. I'm gonna call, and I'm gonna watch. If I don't see or hear anything, then I'll move to the next spot. But it's cold. It's starting to clear off. It's been raining all night. I'm trying to keep my camera covered up from the water dropping off the trees. A lot of times when it rains, turkeys go to an opening. I hadn't planned on hunting in an opening. I hadn't planned on going to the oaks in the woods. We're gonna give it a few yelps, and we'll wait a few minutes, 25, 30 minutes, and we'll see what happens. begins. It's been about 30 minutes. I'm gonna call again. We just had someone walk right down through the middle of this field. So we're gonna give it a little bit more time. I'm a little concerned about the pressure. Pressure on these birds. We may just get one walk in, may not even call at all. And then we may have to make another move. That must be a popular spot, especially off this ridge down in the bottom. There were 3 that went in and to a certain area, so there must be another field toward the back. So the sun's pretty much come out. Looks like the rain's over for good. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back to the original game plan. Now I was trying to be versatile this morning with it raining. You know, a lot of times birds will go to an open area, field or something like that. Didn't see anything, didn't hear anything at all. And I called sparingly because obviously these birds are pressured pretty hard. Today's Monday and I've already seen 4 hunters. There were 3 in this field and then 1 just drove by before I started doing this this video here. So we're gonna go back to the topo map and I'm gonna go back to those spots I'd picked out initially based on the terrain. We'll get set up. We only got a couple hours left because in Virginia you can only hunt until 12 o'clock. All right, what are you seeing? What I'm seeing? A lot of red oaks. Some acorns. There's another one. More down through there. So what we're going to do, this is one of the spots we picked out on the map. So we're just a little over 1/3 of a mile away from that bench. So we're just going to ease in here real quiet. I'm going to try to get set up. It's almost 10 o'clock. We got 2 hours left. All right, real quick. This was one of the spots that I had picked out based on the topo maps that I had reviewed. But since it was raining this morning, I decided to go to the fields. And I didn't know how much pressure was going to be in those fields. Obviously, that's quite a bit. It seems like the go-to place for this WMA. Quite a bit of pressure in here, and that's one of the things you just have to deal with on public land. That's just part of the game. You have to be able to adjust, you have to be versatile. That we decided to move. So then I came down, followed my pin, and came to this spot. And we've been here now for 30 minutes. I haven't heard anything either. I don't know that I will. Like I said, this is heavily pressured, so I'm just doing some really light calling, and what I'm predominantly doing is looking. My anticipation is that a bird's going to come in without making a sound. He's going to come in looking and trying to, okay, where's the hen at? If you don't see anything, then he's going to ease out. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get the setup to where when he comes in, he's going to be in close enough for a shot. So we got about an hour left. That's the other aspect of Virginia. The first part of the season, you can only hunt until 12 o'clock. So it's about almost 11 o'clock now. So I've got another spot on the map that I'm going to go to. So we're going to leave this area, go to the next spot, set up, and see what happens. I actually set this hen up in anticipation of birds coming this way, but you can tell there is scratch sign in here. So there is birds in here. The hen looks awful lonely though.
see right back there is a setup against that tree. So we're gonna move to the third spot. There's a lot of scratch sign in here. I really hate to leave this spot. There's another finger just to the left. I mean, there's a lot of scratch sign in here. One these over to the other finger. Blue skies look good compared to what it was this morning. All right, this is going to be our third and final spot. We only have about 20 minutes left before the end of the season. With West Virginia regulations making you stop hunting at 12 o'clock. So this is the best sign we found. I would think they would have been roosting in these trees last night because of the rain, but you just don't know where they're at today and with all the pressure. So we'll give it a shot and we'll see what happens. That's going to put a wrap on the first day in Virginia. We did find some scratch sign, but didn't hear any birds, hens or gobblers. We saw, I think, 4 hunters in here, so I know the area's getting pressured quite a bit, and we're accustomed to that. You just got to stay diligent, keep scouting. We came to the points that we located on the topo. It looks really good. That's actually where we found the scratch sign. But I may have stayed at the field a little too long. I only got in 3 setups this morning, and I would like to got in maybe 4 or 5. And, you know, if I'd left there earlier, maybe I'd had a little bit more time to move around and find some additional scratch sign. I was trying to find the freshest, and this was, you can probably see a little bit of the leaves ruffled up through here. This is about the freshest I found. So day 1 in Virginia, we're still looking for toms. Okay, this is a gate where all these people were going in and out, and just out of curiosity, I want to come down here and see what they were going to. And it looks like, based on those trees beyond that tree line there, it looks like there's another field. All right, we're coming up on top of this little hill. No wonder. Look at this. You got a plowed field over there, and over here looks like they've planted some type of grass. I don't know if this road goes any further. We'll walk over here and take a look. Doing some plantings here too. Yeah, you got a bottom field down this way. So Virginia Wildlife doing a really good job of maintaining, or actually improving, the habitat for the wildlife. I don't know what they planted, what if it's a type of clover or some type of grass for the deer and the turkeys, but they've definitely been in here. You know, the section we were on, they had the burn, so they're doing controlled burns and making habitat improvement. But with the easy access, this is where most of the hunters are going to be. So it's like I was saying earlier, we're going to have to find locations or those small pockets on this public land that are a little bit more difficult to get to. And then for us, I think we're going to have to find some more areas. Now, I didn't see anyone where I went mid-morning, so I might be in a pretty good spot, but I only walked about, it wasn't even a half a mile. If you remember on that first turkey hunt back in my home state, my round trip hike was 5 miles. and it wasn't like this. It was more steep. So we'll keep working on it.